Okay.
Oh, hello. What's that one movie? 2001? Hello, Hal.
Yeah.
Don't restart me, Hal.
Oh, from the ship, the in
Yeah.
Critters 4, Angela.
Yeah, that's like an LSD bad trip from Stanley Kubrick.
Oh man, no, I remember. I saw it. I went to New York with a buddy of mine. Um, we bought some real bad weed in Times Square, and we went to a movie theater that was showing it, and I watched it. And I probably made it through about halfway through the movie before I fell asleep, and then I
Wow.
woke up at the end with the real trippy scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got the ending. I remember the beginning was weird because it was the monolith stuff and like, oh,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
did we come from? And then it just went into us in space or the people in space, and then I'll have that storyline. And I think they made a sequel like 2010, and
yeah.
that was just as weird, but it wasn't
I
as
never
weird.
saw it. Yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah, I think I seen parts of it. But and let me press record real
I
quick. And
watched the
then
first one because I was a big Kubrick fan, but
oh, Keyboard was awesome, dude. Like,
yeah.
all right, here we go. Waka waka, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Shut Up and Refill My Popcorn. No intro, no outro, straight meat and potatoes, because I'm joined this time again by a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Sarge the Destroyer. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'm glad I got to join you for this movie.
Oh,
Probably one of Angela Bassett's finest performances.
I liked it when she did what was that, Supernova? Because I think you saw some boobies.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you saw a bit of side boob in this one when she was in the shower. You saw like full butt and some side boob, and
yeah,
then the
and
weird
then
space
you kind of
German
feel
came
like
in the
the captain just creeping on her.
yeah, the weird space German just hanging out.
And not only that, the mess hall is right next to the showers. What the fuck? Who
Yeah,
designed the
what's
space
happening there?
station?
Who's hanging out there? I guess they just wanted all the water in the same area of the ship.
The bathwater is used for ramen noodles.
Well, it's better than the space shuttle where they recycle your urine.
Oh, or the water world with Kevin Costner. You pissing in.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll just keep it there.
I
I see
forgot.
you're
I forgot
drinking
about that
something else.
movie. That's okay. That's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Critters 4, another scary movie set in space. This one came out in 1993 or 92.
I think it was 93.
I believe so.
Could have been 92. Um, the thing is, it messed me up in the movie. Let me look it up because I was just looking at their IMDb page. But one of the things that messed me up in the movie was that the guy kept referring to his license because his license had expired by
Oh, okay,
53
yeah, yeah.
years. Because they were in 2045, I believe he said.
And
92.
I mean, it was an
1992 it came out.
hour. It was an hour and a half movie, roughly.
Yeah, like an
But they
hour and
kind of tried to
34
cram.
minutes.
Yeah, they tried to cram everything in that one scene to like make him realize, oh, I'm in the future. Like you didn't look out the fucking window and see stars and see you were
Yeah,
in outer
you didn't
space.
notice that you were in a very futuristic spacecraft.
Yeah, like I mean, it was crappy. It was really cramped. They were
Yeah,
really just kind of like in a hallway. It was the same hallway, which I feel would probably save money for set designers
oh
or the
yeah,
set
they just
design.
changed the decals. They were in the same
Yeah,
hallway structure the whole time.
they just got a bunch of stickers. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
yeah. I
The
like how they were
pharmacy
like, yeah.
was
It's the
just a
least
room
secure
of
pharmacy in the
pills.
world.
It
You
was
go
just
into a
a
CVS and like there's far more security in 2020 than 2045 apparently.
yeah, it's just a card and some buttons and a passcode. But it was just a room full of pills. Nothing was labeled. Maybe one of the even not even the bottles
Yeah,
were labeled. The dude just going in there taking
trying to
pills. You
fill
don't
his
even
bag.
know how many milligrams and this and that. I mean, he's just like, oh, it's time to party. Like,
Yeah, it reminds me of that Simpsons episode where Homer's going through someone's trash and he's like, "How do you know I'm not getting enough estrogen?" It's like,
oh
buddy,
my
you're
god,
taking space drugs. You don't know what's in there. Or maybe he does.
space,
Maybe he's
space dope.
yeah. Or maybe he does know what it is. Maybe we're the fools.
Well, like I don't know who where I saw it from, where they were like somebody was. I think it might have been like a clip of someone talking about that they didn't. They would get a bunch of pills I don't know if it was a movie or what, but they basically got a
Oh
bunch of
yeah,
pills. They didn't know what they were, but they had a drug book, and the drug book had the pictures and what it could be, or the pills that it could be because of the color. Like it was
yeah.
a
The
capsule was
shape
red
and the
and blue.
color of the pills.
Yeah. And so I'm like, if you had,
Maybe he's just
if this is
really
before,
schooled.
if this was before the internet and you were a dopehead and you were like trying to figure out what you were gonna get high off of, and you're going through a book at the library and you're just like, gotta figure it out. You're scratching. I gotta figure it out.
Damn
Oh,
it, it's aspirin
I'm
again.
fiending. Yeah. And you go through like a 2-hour research and to find out you got nothing but fucking estrogen or like mood killers or something. I don't know.
A bowl of Valium. Actually, no, Valium would probably be a good time. A bowl of vitamin C.
Oh shit. I'd go for a bowl of zinc in these times. At least I hear zinc is good for you. But yeah, Critters 4 takes place in the space. Now
Really
when we were setting this
capitalizing
up,
on they were
well,
really capitalizing on like the 90s trend of putting bad guys in space.
thank you. Yes, because Leprechaun was in space,
And
Hellraiser
so
was
was
in
Jason.
space. Jason was
Jason
in space
also
in like
went to space.
2003. Yeah.
Was it 2003? All right. So
2001. No.
they waited 11 years.
It
Oh,
was
okay.
Jason
So they
X.
waited 9 years.
Yeah. But yeah, they were putting everybody in space, man.
Yeah.
They were putting
And I
teachers
feel like it
in.
was less scary. It was less scary because it was in space. I was like I don't know. I don't get scared watching a space horror movie the same way I get scared on a normal because I'm like, I'm never gonna be in space.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna have to worry about like something coming out and like a ghost coming through a wall because I'm not in space.
It
That
was
just
like
doesn't do it for me.
when was the last Aliens? Alien 3 probably came out in like 93. So I mean, Aliens was the tagline, what was it? No, in space, nobody can hear you scream.
Yeah.
And then they had the chest buster scene, but that was in the 70s, and you had the awesome Spaceball scene where they recreated in the diner, the space diner.
Yeah.
And he's all singing, "Hello, my baby, hello, my darling."
And at the very end, he's like, check, please.
Yeah, I was like, I have what he's having. Oh, what did he have? The special. Oh, he all changes his barf changes his mind. But yeah, so to get a little background, when earlier when I said, "Oh, hey, you said it was I forgot Leo was in this one," and I was like,
God,
"You watched the
yeah.
wrong one." What
I was so
happened?
mad. I was so mad. I downloaded it immediately. And so I'm watching it. My kids are running around. They're like, "Dad, what are you watching?" And I'm like, "It's probably too scary for you." I mean, like, for me, I was like, "This is absolute garbage." But you're 7. You're terrified right now. So I didn't let my kids watch it. However, I
just
probably
like, this ain't
could have
scary.
because, yeah, I mean, it was the worst. When the capsule first went into space, the very very beginning of the movie, I was like, okay, not bad special effects for a 90s movie.
Here's
And
a
then when the
question.
tractor beam caught the capsule and was trying to pull it in, I was like, oh, there's the terrible special effects. They ran out of budget after the first scene. All right, good work.
Oh man, my bad. My phone's ringing.
No worries.
Oh, yeah. Well, now no, because it's a guy I text earlier, and he hasn't. I mean, now he chooses to text me now. But no, like one thing. Here's the thing: how did the freaking capsule launch from that little, abandoned building that Charlie was in?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I didn't even think about that until just now, because like we need like a giant dick-shaped rocket to shoot one guy into orbit, and we can't like that thing. I didn't see any thrusters on it. It was just kind of floating around in space. How the fuck did it get up there?
It just landed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
like it crashed through the building, but I didn't see any thrusters
on it.
like,
Yeah.
when he was going. Yeah, it was shaped like a pill.
Yeah, like a suppository of some sort. The thing about Critters is, like, to be honest, I haven't seen a Critters movie in full ever, except for this one. I remember the scene, I think it was in Critters 2, was the Easter scene where the bunny rabbit breaks through the window.
I don't remember. I mean, I saw all of them. years and years and years ago, and I don't remember the first two at all. Like I get it mixed up with Leprechauns and Trolls all the time.
Yeah.
Because when somebody like talks about Critters 1, I'm like, oh yeah, Jennifer Aniston was in that. And they're like, no, dude, that was Leprechaun.
Oh,
So I don't remember the first two. I barely remember the third one because I just crammed the fourth one. I just want to know how they got Angela Bassett.
well, it was the early 90s. I'm sure she was in some stuff. I don't know.
I
What
was like
she
looking
in?
it up. I feel like she had been in a bunch of stuff by then. Maybe I'm crazy. I mean, I know she was young, but she was only in her she was probably in her late 20s when she was in that. Hang on.
Wasn't she in something Stella Got Her Groove Back or something?
Oh, that was like later though, wasn't it? That was like later 90s, I think.
Yeah, but that was her, right? Like she was Stella.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 1998. How Stella Got Her Groove Back. She was in Contact, Vampire in Brooklyn. I want to see if she did anything good before that. Yeah, she was in fucking Boys in the Hood.
Oh shit.
1991. She was in Kindergarten Cop. Not a great movie, but definitely, it was in theaters at least.
Okay, so yeah, so she was in some shit. All right.
Yeah, she did some stuff. Like she was on the Cosby Show. Yeah, I mean, like, what the hell, man? Angela, this was a step down for your career.
And to think about it, like there was what, 3 or 4 guys? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there was
4 dudes.
There was a muscle guy,
Yeah.
who had zero personality. Like there was no reason for him to be in that movie whatsoever. He had nothing to any scene. Then we had the
Other
father
than he wanted to
figure.
fucking rob the pharmacy.
Yeah, that was it. Then we had the unnecessarily evil German guy. Like I was watching it and I was like, there's literally no reason for him to be this much of a dick.
Yeah, I mean, he was mad because Angela wasn't giving him no booty.
Yeah, but he was also like beating up the little kid all the time. Like he kept slapping him.
Yeah, like a fucking dick. And the only one that was cool with the kid was Chucky,
His
Brad Dourif,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. And he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh hell yeah, dude. That movie
Yeah, he was
awesome.
a nerdy guy in that
Christopher
movie.
Lloyd, Danny DeVito, that big
Talking
Indian
about a movie
dude.
with like the greatest cast ever. Here we are talking about Critters 4, and we somehow found our way all the way back to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But then when you think about it, like, yeah, that guy fell real far.
Brad Dourif.
Yeah, he went from acting with Jack Nicholson. Well, okay, yeah, to acting with
To being a killer doll.
Yeah. Such a bad movie. But yeah, like and then you had the unnecessarily mean German spaceship pilot. There were only 3 women in the movie.
Well, yeah, the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor, and then the voice, and then Angela.
Oh yeah, and that fucking computer was stupid. Like they would say, "Don't close this door," and they would to tell it to close the door or something like that.
Who sets up a security system that can easily be fooled by like grade school versions of reverse psychology?
And it was weird too, because the guy gets in the elevator, or the kid gets in the elevator, and he's like trying to realize, oh shit, there's no buttons. Like, how do I take me down? And they have like this exchange, and somehow he ends up where he needs to be. Like, what the fuck?
However, that's actually every argument that I have with my Alexa.
I don't trust Alexa. She tells Amazon too much about me.
Well, I put Alexa in my living room, so the only suggestions I get are cartoons.
Do you want me to order more lube? What? Don't say that so damn loud, bitch. Keep it on the down low. KY.
Way to throw me under the bus, dick.
You want KY or the generic because it's cheaper? Cheaper, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Hey, mom, how y'all doing? You want
just make sure it's water based.
You want some more turkey? How's the mashed potatoes? Lumpy enough for you?
Yeah, I keep my Alexa in the living room with my kids, so they make Alexa fart all the time.
I didn't even know you could get her to tell jokes.
Oh yeah, it's great. We get her to tell dad jokes. My kids will set alarms, but the alarms will just be to insult each other. So it'll be like, Alexa, tell Will he's an idiot. And then at 4 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
Wake me up at 6 a.m. and tell me I'm stupid for getting up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I just use Alexa for
Remind
the
me how
weather
shitty my
reports.
life is. I have to wake up early.
I know I only have to work another 40 years till I'm dead anyway, so that'll
Yeah.
be fun.
All right. So before we go any further, I got to do something real quick.
Sure.
I love how she just Alexa's the fuck out of it, like
Yeah.
regain consciousness. So
It's so stupid.
now, like I said, I haven't really seen the first three. I remember watching, like I said, that scene of Easter because I'm pretty sure as I was a kid, they were watching it and I walked in at the wrong time and
Okay.
became traumatized.
That's the story of my childhood, really.
Yeah. And so that's like the story of it. I walked in at the wrong time and now I'm afraid of clowns. So,
Ah.
uh, not now, but as a kid growing up, yeah. But so Charlie is the town drunk from the first film, and he's the only character that's probably been in all the critters except for the last one, because the last one that came
Ugg,
out
or
in,
whatever his name is.
oh no, oh yeah, that's right, the boot man.
Yep.
He went back in time and invented Ugg boots. This and I like it how he didn't show up in that new one that came out in 2019 because during that time he was in space,
Oh,
for
Jesus.
50 years.
Jesus.
So I haven't seen that new one. I know it came out like on sci-fi, like an original movie or whatever. But he's the town drunk. He becomes friends with the bounty hunters that are after the critters in the first few films, and he becomes a bounty hunter himself, or is taught the ways of killing these creatures or hunting them.
Yeah.
And so we see him in the beginning of the movie. He finds 2 eggs, and just as he's about to squash them or whatever, get rid of them, which I would have fucking done.
Yeah.
He gets a message on his belt. Now, you saw the third film. Does that belt, is it something he's given in the third film, or is it something before that?
I honestly don't remember it. I saw the third film like right before I went to bed a week ago. So um the thing that struck me about that scene though is that like the thing went off and was like cast in that hologram.
Mhm.
And this is a guy who's obviously he became a space bounty hunter, yet he was mystified by the hologram. And it's like, buddy, like this is your shit. You're carrying this around. You didn't know
He
that
did
that
that
was
whole
happening.
hand thing.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? And then
Ugh,
he
is
did
that
it again.
you?
He did
Ugh,
it a
is that
second
you?
time. What did you think you were gonna touch his face, you idiot?
Like he's gonna touch back and feel something like, oh, your hands are soft. So
Well, that would
yeah.
revolutionize sexting, that's for sure.
Oh man, it'd been like that scene in 6th Day where Michael Rappaport is just, hi honey, I'm home, having virtual sex. Uh, oh, so he gets he gets a DM message from Ugg who tells him not to kill the 2 eggs, that they need to be preserved, or he's in violation of
Yeah,
intergalactic
some
endangered
code.
species act or whatever.
I like how specific they were too.
Yeah, like they
Like
had
someone's
this
gonna go look it up and be like, nah, it's not the code.
section code 4569. So he oh my bad. He, like, the pod comes in like we said, and then next thing you know, the pod shoots off miraculously into space
Well, hold on.
and
So this is
starts
another
floating.
part of the movie that I was like, what the fuck happened? So he climbs inside this thing,
Yeah.
puts the eggs in there, and the doors that open just happen to be big enough for
For him
these
to fit.
eggs. And then the door closes 15 seconds afterwards. They say 15 seconds, but by the time he had backed up, the door was already closed. And so he's just trapped in this thing. And he gets frozen, I guess, because it wasn't really clear. Like gas came in
Or
and they
something.
didn't really,
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't really explain like what was happening. So I was like, oh, are they poisoning him? Like, is he gonna die? And
Yeah, like
then
there's no explanation on
yeah,
any, you're in a state of disbelief because, oh well, he survived the blast off and he's in space. Like the eggs, I guess I understand you put them in the compartment, they're going to be frozen. Maybe it didn't
yeah.
close all the way and some of the gas got into the chamber.
Well, no, the glass was coming up from the floor right behind him because he had like crawled backward to the door, and
Oh,
his like boot was up against the wall. I only noticed it because I was like, is that like a poison gas? What's happening?
Uh,
And it was weird for me because they were so specific about the stupid law that he was violating, but there was no exposition about the gas coming through the space pod.
it's space gas. It's a space
Yeah.
peanut. No, it's a frozen hunk of poopy. But I mean, like the whole like just I'm guessing they didn't explain it because like, oh hey, he's gonna be in space. Hey, that's where the story's gonna go. Just take our word for it. Just don't look
Yeah.
over there, stay on course, kind of deal. Now
I
there are a
just
bunch
love
of
how in
salvages,
movies,
right? The
yeah,
ship.
they're five, was it? Yeah, there's five, no, six salvages because it's Angela Bassett. No, five because there's
That's
the four
five.
guys and then Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
I, li-
there's
I like
five. There's
I
five
like
people
the
on the ship.
I like the product placement in this movie. You got Ugg boots and Tesla.
Yeah.
Tesla cars.
Yeah, I
Electronic.
actually, so I caught that and I was like, what a weird name for a spaceship. Like Nikolai Tesla did nothing with space. You weren't gonna name it after somebody else. Like it didn't. I didn't get the reference. But
But
they just
now,
like, oh,
like,
this is a cool science name.
yeah, like
Maybe that's where
Bell was
Elon Musk
taken.
got the idea.
Probably he probably just like I like these
Yeah,
movies. How can I
I had no
protect?
idea who that guy was.
How can I protect humanity from these furballs who potentially could come from space?
All I know
Uh,
now, after watching this movie, is that Elon Musk is playing with fire if he's going to start launching Tesla ships into the sky.
Maybe that's what he's probing space for. He's like, man, I
He's
gotta find these furballs.
little
He was
furry basketballs with teeth.
maybe he has like a plan to like gift one to Leonardo DiCaprio in his older age. It's like, remember these? Next thing you know, they're real.
Remember your second worst movie?
Yeah.
Naturally, the first being Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, that's the one with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
get two really good actors to make the worst movie?
Is it that? I've never really seen it, but is it bad?
It's not great.
It's not great. It's not Gilbert Grape.
No, it's not Gilbert Grape. It's not Basketball Diaries. It is not great.
Oh man. They made me lose my train of thought. now I'm
Sorry.
thinking about
So
what is the worst
like,
Leonardo DiCaprio movie so I can put into a new episode.
I feel like it would have to be Critters 3 or Catch Me If You Can. And the
I'm gonna have
worst
to
part
look
is
that
like
up.
Catch
I'm
Me
gonna
If
have to
You
look that
Can is
up.
an exciting story, but from what I understood, they basically like made up a ton of shit that just didn't
Oh,
happen.
okay. Now, which is the one that he did? Howard Hughes, The Aviator.
The Aviator.
Okay,
The
maybe that's
Aviator.
the one I
Also
saw.
not a great movie, but it was like at least kind of enjoyable.
Oh, okay.
It had John C. Reilly in it, so you can't really go wrong there.
All right.
I think it had John C. Reilly. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
John C. Reilly. He was in a lot of good stuff before he did his comedy run. Like
They
I
grabbed
remember
him for a
watching
lot
him
of
on The
period
Perfect
movies.
Storm. Huh?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. He was in A Perfect Storm. He was
Boogie Nights.
He was even in Chicago.
Oh, really?
The musical with what's her name?
Renee Zellweger.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
And Renee
And Catherine
Zellweger.
Zeta-Jones.
Who? You
Yeah.
seen that Chappelle show? Who the fuck is Renee Zellweger? Yeah, I remember that one coming out because it was like on what Oscar season or whatever. It was like 2003, and everybody was all talking Chicago, and I'm like, huh? The Cubs.
And he was. You know what's funny is if you look John C. Reilly up on IMDb, Chicago was his first billing. Even though
Really?
he's in like Guardians of the Galaxy, Boogie Nights,
Step Brothers, of course.
Step Brothers, one of the greatest movies ever made, without question.
I think after what Talladega Nights, when he started doing more. I mean, he did comedy, but it wasn't like to like him being with Will Ferrell.
Exactly.
That level, and with ever since then, I think he's what else has he done lately?
I don't know. What has he been in most recently? He did that horrible Holmes movie, the Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh yeah. They both did that one, didn't they? Like he played Watson.
Yep. And then before that he was in the second Wreck-It Ralph movie.
He was Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, he was in. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying the second one came out before the
Oh,
Sherlock Holmes one.
oh, okay, yeah.
He was
Yeah,
really
because
good in Skull Island too.
that's the one I was thinking of, but he played the he played the old World War II vet or whatever,
Yep.
and he goes home and eats a hot dog and drinks a beer. They don't even show him with his kid. They just show that scene where he walks up to the door and he's still living at home with his mom.
He was really good in that movie though. Yeah, no, I thought they showed him with his kid. I thought he was going to his house with his
Yeah, he opens the
his
door.
wife and
I
his
think
kid. Yeah.
yeah, they open it, his wife and his kid or somebody opens the door. He's like, "Hello, son. I'm your pa." And he just gets knocked out. Where the fuck you been, Dad? It's almost like Ready to Rumble, where the king goes and see his son. His son's got some jacked up teeth.
Did you ever see the movie? Speaking of kids beating up their dads, did you ever see the movie with Andy Samberg called Super Rad?
Hot Rod?
Oh, Hot Rod. Hot
Yeah,
Rod.
where him and
That's
his
right.
dad fight or stepdad fight.
Yeah.
Or he's like, I'm
Him
gonna
and his
save your
stepdad
life so I
fighting
can kick your ass.
constantly. So
Oh,
good. Such a good movie.
oh hell
That
yeah,
movie
dude.
did not get nearly as much credit as it should have.
I
But I
think
feel
that's
like
probably
John
the
C.
first
Reilly,
one I
like,
ever saw of his stuff. I didn't even know he was on SNL or nothing. And Danny
oh
McBride
yeah,
was in it.
yeah, it had Danny McBride. It had him. I think it had was it Amy Adams or Ilsa Fisher? I always get those two confused for some reason.
It might have been the Fisher girl. Yeah,
Okay.
because she was the one. She was a crazy one in Wedding Crashers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I think it was her. Back on
And it had
track.
Queens of the Stone Age in it. Queens of the Stone Age was the band that played in Hot Rod.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because I
At the
remember
end
at the
when he
end.
does like the
Yeah,
big jump. All right.
into the
Yeah,
Stone Age.
I
Oh
derailed us.
man,
We went on
the
a John
tangent.
C. Reilly hunt.
Yeah. All right. So critters, we see them in space. They've hatched already. I guess I don't know if they
Yeah,
hatched as soon as the hatched open, unless the pod opened, but they were already born
if
and
that
bred.
happened, I missed it, but I feel like they didn't miss it. I feel like they just kind of came out. They were just born.
Yeah, like they just hatched and they attacked the perverted captain, the fucking asshole. And
Yeah.
like there's only 5 people, so you can't expect, and there's only 2 critters, so you can't expect a lot of killing and stuff. So I don't know how many
Right.
people got killed in 3 and whatever, but so you would think in that time between kills there would be some storytelling, but there really isn't. They just show the computer's fucked up, the nuclear reactor is on yellow, which I guess they have a few months or whatever. The engineer is able. Did you see how the 90s kind of picture future technology? We're in a dark room and the light
Yeah.
from the monitor is projected, I like right mirrored on my face or whatever, or
Yeah.
projected on my face.
What is it about the 90s that they just thought space was going to be super dark the whole time?
And then yeah, and like even when the critters are on computers, you see the projection of what they're looking at on their face, and it's not
Yeah.
even flipped or nothing. You can see exactly. So it's like they didn't give a fuck. They just like
Yeah.
run with it. It's future tech.
It's 2021 and I get blinded driving down the highway because some dickhead has LED bulbs. But in 2045, apparently this spaceship's running on dim the entire time.
For
Good idea.
yeah, I'm probably that asshole because I can't see for shit in the dark. And the trucks I use when we're hauling cattle, I have a switch and a bunch of fucking LED lights just bloom.
Yeah, but I mean, like you at least turn them off when you're driving by
Oh
somebody,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Unless they
yeah.
flash me. If they flash me, I'm gonna fucking leave them on.
Oh yeah, you might as well.
And see, I get flashed because on the regular lights, they're too bright for me. So they do that. I'm gonna fuck with you and turn my brights on. So I just hit them with the super lights. Yeah, it's a whole
They
lot.
earned it. They earned it at that point. I don't flash anybody. I just put down my visor and hope for the best.
My vodka.
No, the visor. I put
Oh,
down
they
the
said my
visor.
vodka. I was like, damn. So okay, so where are we at with the critters? All right, so the critters are
the
running
critters kill
amok.
the unnecessarily evil German space German.
They basically killed all the dicks in the movie, which is only 2. The pharmacy robber, which was funny. He was trying to get in there, and then he finally realizes, oh, I need this ID card, so he steals it and kind of walks away.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then does his shopping spree, and then at the end, not spoiler alert, Chucky dies.
Yeah.
Chucky dies by the hand of Ugg. Now Ugg was the guy they talked to in the beginning where they said, "Oh, hey, I'm Chancellor Tesla, or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
Chancellor
Yeah. Yeah.
Chetra." But it's Ugg, and it's the same guy from I guess the first movies where he was a bounty hunter. Now he's like the
Right.
head of the company or a company.
Exactly, which is why he said things change.
Yeah.
But they didn't establish that until like later in the movie. So when he first shows up
You
and
think
Oak's talking to that guy, I just thought like, oh, now he's like the head of the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And
Or the
so when he
stormtroopers.
introduced himself as like the chancellor or whatever, I was like, oh, he's lying. He's gonna trick these people.
Yeah, but he turned into basically the bad guy, which
Yep.
is like, okay, cool, I guess. But like I said, I hadn't seen the first. I'm going to go back and watch the first 3 movies. Maybe now 3 for sure, because if that's Leo's worst one, so
It's
I'm gonna
pretty
go
bad.
check that one out.
It's like when he was on Growing Pains bad.
Oh man, was he hanging out with Boner?
The most
Boner?
unfortunately named TV show character ever.
And they didn't care. They just said they ran with it. Boner, 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 boner.
Yeah, they were like, no. Boner means when you make a mistake. That's what shows you that like old people wrote that show. Because no one in their 20s in the 1980s was like, oh yeah, Boner's a good name for a character.
I was like, growing up, I always thought it was weird that his name was Boner and not T-Bones or something, like something cooler.
Yeah. Well,
like
I think
T-Bones
they called him
steak.
Boner because back in the day, a boner was a mistake.
Also, he was a bastard.
Yeah, or depending on how messed up your kids were, that's an accurate statement. But no, back then, if you use the term boner, it just meant you fucked up.
That's dick. That's fucked up.
Yeah. So I think it became like slang for penis probably in the 70s or 80s. I would have to guess.
Or had to be slanging after that because that was like 90s ish, wasn't it? Boner in the TV.
Well, yeah, but I feel like Growing Pains was in the 80s, wasn't it?
You late 80s. I mean, I remember watching it. Was it on NBC or ABC?
Oh, I don't know. I just know that Kirk Cameron was on it, and that's when he found Jesus and ruined television forever.
I always found it weird that he was on one show and his little sister was on another show.
Yep. Yeah, Candace Cameron Bure.
And now she's getting flack for what? Kissing her husband or him touching her boobs or something like that. Did you see that?
Oh, Jesus.
Like a month or 2 ago, people were getting mad at her. Like,
yeah, apparently that doesn't happen. Okay. All right, Christians. Sure, you've never grabbed a boob.
Christian couples can't get their freak on the internet.
There's probably a whole market for that. You could probably make a ton of money. She should open up an OnlyFans.
There you go. Get that dirty money.
They pray for energy to complete the act beforehand, and then they pray for forgiveness afterwards. Makes sense.
It's like an Etch-a-Sketch. Never happened. I'm forgiven.
And then what's his name? Kirk Cameron. He does like a shitload of those stupid Christian movies.
The Left Behind.
And he did this. Yeah, and he did another one about a firefighter who was like going through problems in his marriage. And the actress who was playing his wife wasn't his real wife. And so the only time in the entire movie, well, no, like the reason it's relevant is the only time in the entire movie where he kisses his wife is when they're both in shadow, like silhouette. And he has his actual real life wife stand in for the actress so that he can kiss this woman and not, offend Jesus. Like you spent an entire
Is it like that scene in Clerks 2 where he's masturbating and he's like, I'm sorry, Jesus?
Yeah.
And he's kissing he's kissing the lady that's not her. Like hitting himself like freaking Da Vinci Code.
And these guys like to pretend like, oh, a real man. I'm a real man because I love God. And it's like, yeah, but you just apologize to God for being in a movie with a woman who's not your wife. Go fuck yourself, you moron.
Yeah, a sex scene. I use a fucking penis sleeve or some shit.
Yeah, it's
like some kind of animal.
It's like, Kurt, have you read the Bible? There was a lot of infidelity in that book. And all those guys
There's a
turned out
whole
fine.
fucking town. A certain
granted-
act is named after that town.
I mean,
Sodomy.
granted, God destroyed the town, but at the same time, he encouraged some stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Stupid Kirk Cameron.
We're
Anyway,
not bashing Christians, just so you know.
just Kirk Cameron.
Just Kirk Cameron in the Left Behind series. That shit was freaky as fuck. We had to watch that during like our FCA meetings, Fellowship of Christian Athletes in high school.
Okay.
And I was just like sitting there like, shit, that's gonna happen. Hopefully after I'm dead.
Yeah, well, that was the thing about religion.
That was
as a
Thanos
kid.
before Thanos.
Exactly. I was always so worried about like the end of the world and like, would I be a good enough Christian? And then I started meeting good Christians, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to hang out with you people any more than I have to.
I know there's some more fucking judgmental, like to the extreme, like, oh, you don't think homosexuality is a sin?
Yeah, like
poison your fucking brownies next week. Like, whoa, I'm gonna give you the shits. Like, what the fuck?
Jesus, that doesn't make any sense.
I know,
I met some, and like I know enough gay people to be like, I'd rather hang out with them. Their parties are way better.
If you're not hurting kids or animals, just do your thing. I don't give a fuck.
Some people dress like ponies.
Yeah, like I said,
we're like all mad at
gay
gay people, and I'm like, dude, that guy's
animals,
dressed like a pony.
Now, did he kill a pony? Then I got a problem with that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But if he's just dressing up like one in his room, by all means. If he's dressing up like one and going into some Farmer John's barn, and you start hearing, cut that motherfucker's nuts off.
Don't Google Mr. Hands. You are going to be very disappointed.
But again, off to another tangent. Back on track with Critters 4.
We went from Kirk Cameron to Christianity to bestiality so quickly.
0 to 60.
There's something wrong with the male brain.
Paul Walker in this motherfucker. We real fast. So furious.
All right,
Critters 4 back. Now, one thing that was weird, the kid was counting down the days till he was back on Earth, or until they made it back to Earth, because he's never been there.
Yeah, they never really explained why it was such a big deal.
He wants to go see his dad, but he's never seen his dad or some shit like that.
Yeah, so it's like, why?
And he's mad because the trip to the space station is going to take 3 days off course or something.
Yeah, so it'll be like a total week, because it would be 3 days there, probably spend a day in the ship, and then 3 days back. Yeah. So it's going to take a long time. But what I guess what I didn't understand is, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you've been in space for 6 years. Like, what's another 7 days? You know what I mean?
It's not like you're seeing daylight to tell, oh, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. I'm pretty sure there's like a clock somewhere on his room. He started juggling. He was juggling something.
Yeah, he was juggling planets.
Or like balls. Like, it looked like
planets. Yeah, they were little balls that look like planets.
And so he's all throwing a fit. But the crazy thing with Charlie was, his thing with the driver's license, where he's like, oh, it expires next year. Like, Charlie, you've been in space for like 53 years, and he just kind of like falls over. It has like a little moment where he faints.
And you could tell like they didn't have enough money to get like a prop mattress so that he could fall on it.
He just falls on the floor.
They didn't get a stunt double, so they just faded to black as he was backing up. Like, he didn't even show him faint.
He just kind of like, boom.
Could he just not nail the faint? Is that what it was?
He did something. His eyes rolled back or something. But he fainted because he tries to realize that, oh, everybody I know is dead. Well, everybody you knew was an asshole to you. I'm pretty sure.
Like, everyone hated you in that town.
Yeah, like you're the town drunk. You think you were abducted by aliens. Like, even though I haven't seen the movie, I did read up on the motherfucker on Wikipedia. So
you know what it is though? I think for him, maybe he was just trying to get some sympathy. Because he seemed like kind of a sad sack. Like, he had no friends. Yeah. He's kind of a dope.
All he had was these alien to hunt or whatever.
Yeah. And like if his only friend is Ugg, like, shit.
And the weird thing is, if he was trying to get into Angela Bassett's pants, at the end where he gets into the freaking driver's seat, he ruined that chance completely.
Ruined it.
He had
one job, Charlie, and that was
and all
not
kinds of shit. Yeah. But
Was he
like she wasn't
Charlie or
much
was
of
it
a
Kid Charlie?
sex like, oh hey, this, she was kind of like that Ripley character, that badass chick warrior.
You know what the problem is though for me? Those are the chicks that I'm into. So I was like, oh, Angela Bassett's very hot in this movie.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I
she
don't
was
like the
sexy as hell.
scream queen girly girls. I like the girl who's like got the shotgun. She's gonna shoot zombies. That's the one I'm
You're not
into.
a Jamie Lee Curtis fan?
Oh no, I am because she wasn't like she fought Mike Myers.
Oh,
She
I'm
wasn't like
thinking of
in the
True Lies.
bed
My bad.
boning
I
dudes.
zoned out
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
second.
yeah. The Jamie Lee Curtis from True Lies did nothing for me until the
Do
end.
it slowly.
Tom Arnold was so good in that movie.
Oh, yeah, it
So
was
good.
hilarious. What was he saying about my ex-wife or something about his ex-wife? He's Tom Arnold was fucking nuts. I love him.
But yeah, like I was like, damn, I never looked at Angela Bassett this way before.
What was the
Just
one? Was
tough
it
as
Stella
nails.
when she kind of blows some shit up in the background?
I think so. I think
Okay,
so. She
yeah,
like
because I
throws a
could just
match
have
in the
this
car and
image of
then
her
walks away
walking.
slowly.
Yeah, walking in front of a fire, like a explosion. Um,
I use that gif now anytime somebody really roasts somebody.
yeah, it is a gift, right? Oh shit.
That's
Um,
why. That's why.
what was the deal with Ug's bounty hunter friends? Like they were all stormtroopered out,
They had the stupidest outfits. They look like
hockey masks
space
or some shit.
samurais. Yeah, what was the triangle shaped helmets? It's like they stole
It was like
Lord
space
Helmet's
balls.
helmet from Spaceballs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is that helmet protecting you from?
I mean, yeah, they go for the face, like the critters, they go for the face, but at the same time, they got trapped in that. And then here's something they should have really dove into was the laboratory and the space station. They were basically genetically aging creatures or trying to make
Exactly.
biomechanical, like basically killer creatures, which is what the critters are.
Yeah,
So
because they
they
wanted to clear out all the life from a
uh,
planet, right?
yes, they wanted to throw like just like terraform this fucking planet, basically, or not terraform, but like, you know, exterminate all life on this planet so we can come in and I guess salvage it or
Yeah, yeah,
habitate
that
it
was
or
the plan. Is
something,
that they were gonna take
or like
over,
an
like maybe
enemy planet.
yeah, like harvest the resources from the planet. But the thing that I didn't understand is there was like some creature that they were shooting with lasers, and I was like, what is the significance of this? Like, why couldn't you
Yeah,
just put one of the critters on that thing and then be like,
but
this is how
see,
we're gonna.
was this like the origin story of the critters? That's why they had them, they made them, but somehow they lost them? Or is
No,
it
I
they
think
had them
I
in
think it
prison
was
in the first
just
movie because they wanted to harness their reproductive, like, because they can reproduce, they don't need, unless they do bone. I mean,
I think they asexually reproduce, don't they?
yeah, like just kind of like pop out an egg and
Yeah,
next
they
thing
just
you
lay
know.
an egg. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how
Just all I remember was like how.
they differentiated the two critters by shooting one in the head and just scalping him. So he's like,
Okay.
okay, that's that one guy. We know which critter A and critter B. But
It was just
yeah,
like,
so like
yeah,
they
they
could have
didn't
did
really explain
something.
it. Nothing
Yeah.
was explained in this entire movie.
And so yeah, so they finally realized like this laboratory, whatever, they're trying to make some deadly shit, and we got to get off this planet, or they got to
That
just say fuck it, that's your stuff, we're gone. But
yeah.
they get on the ship, and stupid Charlie, who gets well, now what was Brad Dourif's character's name? Rick?
Oh, I
Because I
think
kept
it
calling
was.
him Chucky, but he had a like a Colt 45 and no zigzags in his room.
Yeah.
And so he hands him the pistol and the bullets, of course, 6 bullets. And they get into the ship and they're like, okay, if you see one, shoot it. And he manages to fucking shoot the computer, everything on that ship, basically murdering the ship, where they can't use it. They have to wait for these guys to show up to get a ride back or whatever.
Yeah, no one thought that was going to be a problem when they gave the dumb guy a gun. No one thought that was an issue.
I don't know if you know this, Texas is now an open carry state.
Oh,
So we're
Lucky.
gonna have a couple of Charlies coming up in the news. For I give it to about December. We're gonna hear stories.
No, Rick. So Rick is the captain of the ship.
Okay.
Fran is Angela
Hey,
Bassett.
Frank, yeah.
Al is Brad
Albert.
Dourif.
Yeah, it was something weird. Like his name was Al.
His name was Albert.
First name Al, last name Bert.
Had
Put
to
it
be a joke
together.
of some kind.
Yeah.
And then Bernie was a musclehead.
Yeah, he was a dumbass. And then the
And
kid.
then
what was his
the
name?
kid's name was Charlie.
No. That's the.
No, that's the kid.
You sure?
Oh wait, no. You're right. The kid is Ethan.
Ethan.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Terrence Mann is Counselor Tetra.
Tetra. I know it was something with a T, but he was basically Ugg.
Yep.
Unless Ugg, because they were shapeshifters, weren't they?
No, he's Ugg though. He's Ugg in Critters 1, 2,
3, and 4.
I think, and 3, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so they wait for him to come back, and then at the end, the kid is juggling the eggs because they somehow, when they were locking down the ship, or whatever, they were going through like some hatches or whatever to go from one level to the other.
Right.
And you see a bunch of eggs already being laid. And so when I don't know what he was doing. He was trying to basically make a pathway to the lab for the stormtroopers, lock them up. They get fucked up. Don't have to worry about them. And then he makes his way down, finds the eggs, grabs 3 of them, and starts juggling them as he's, going towards Ugg. And he starts dropping one, dropping another. And right before because he has a pistol. At this point in the movie, he has the pistol that's only got 1 bullet left. And now he's about to, I think he tosses the last egg up to distract him.
Oh shit. Whoa. Ugg is in, I think, hang on. For a second there, I thought I had read that correctly, but no, I didn't. At first, I thought Ugg was in all of the Critters movies.
Yeah, because there's one that came out like 2019.
Yeah, 2019,
But
he wasn't
I
in
doubt
that one.
he was in that one too, or no?
No, he wasn't, because he died
Okay.
in this one.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like because at this time,
I was looking at
the
Charlie.
last one was 4, and that was 92, and that's like what,
30
close to
years?
30 years. Yeah, 28
Yeah.
years. What was it? Oh yeah, so at this point in time, Fran gets the gun, and she doesn't shoot him. She hits him up. She pistol whips him, right?
And then she like breaks her wrist when she hits him with a gun.
I think so, or something like
Yeah,
that. She's
like
"Ah."
holding the wrist. I've hammered a lot of nails before. I've never hurt myself from doing it. So I think she might have hit him wrong.
Yeah, and so now all of a sudden he's knocked out, but he's not dead. They're saying, fuck it, let's go. They get on the ship. The stupid kid does that whole, I'm gonna turn around and Albert dies. They shoot
Yeah.
Albert. He goes to get his
shot him in the
glasses.
stomach
Like, does
with
he
the
need to wear
laser gun.
glasses?
Yeah, why did he grab the glasses? I thought he was gonna like grab his body and then Albert would come back to life. And it was way more cheesy than that, because he took his glasses. What the fuck is he gonna do with the glasses?
Like, I'm gonna fuck up my eyesight just because I'm gonna remember you.
I miss my buddy.
And then he sees the critter coming out. I think the scalped head one. He comes out of nowhere and he hits him with the I don't know what it was. It was basically a
Like nitro.
cryo plug
It was,
or something.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
Is it nitrous?
Nitrogen, yeah. And so he freezes him, and he does that stupid, is like the worst cheesy movie line.
Oh yeah, of course.
Was like he says something, calls him asshole or some shit, freeze asshole or some shit. Like he says something.
Yeah, I don't know. It was some terrible line.
And he breaks him. Like of course he's frozen, so he shatters when you throw him away or throw him.
Yeah, he
off
kicks him and he freezes and smashes against the wall.
And then
like it happened, and I was like, really?
And you would think that'd be the end, right? And then they get happily ever after. But we forgot Ugg's still alive. And then Charlie was able to shoot him in the head, all badass, like, even though you couldn't have shot the critter. You ended up shooting up the whole fucking thing.
He wasted 5 bullets on 2 critters, but hits Charlie direct in the head.
Yeah, like nothing.
From further away too. He was like 10 feet away.
Yeah, and like that was fucking ridiculous. So like we already talked about him getting in the driver's seat, but like that ship was like a freaking Taco Bell to go box or something. Like each side was the same lights or whatever.
Yeah, it was
And
weird looking.
yeah, and so I guess they're on their way home, the end. But the computer is doing this whole nuclear, you got 10 minutes left before the nuclear reactor explodes and all this. And it's like counting down from like 10, and at 5 it explodes. Like the
Yeah,
bitch
that was
couldn't even
another
tell
thing I
time.
didn't understand. I was like, why are they hearing the countdown on the spaceship that's flying away? Like, why is Angela's voice
Yeah.
playing on this spaceship that's flying
Yeah.
away? It makes no sense. What's the
That's
point?
right. That's right. Yeah, they're on a completely different ship, and yet
Yeah.
they're hearing the dumb bitch do the countdown from the space station.
Yeah, like, this has no bearing on what's happening right now.
Again, the lighting sucks so bad because you couldn't
Super
tell
dark.
what the space station looked like. It's so dark. And it was like the spaceship that they were on, the Tesla. I don't even know what the fuck that one looked like. I just
Yeah, I
remember
had no idea what that ship looked like.
now when they landed, when Tetra or whatever Ugg and them land on the ship, it reminded me of Metroid, like the beginning of Metroid where they just.
Yes. I was thinking of what, Space Invaders from when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Like way back.
It was just so cheesy, but like it was almost till they waited to the end to kind of give a little bit of lighting to show what these spaceships look like. It was like,
Yeah, it
man,
was
you see
terrible.
better footage on a dude from Mexico looking up at the sky at a bunch of lights.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen better video of Bigfoot.
It always goes back to Yeti, huh?
Always.
Oh my
It's
god.
sometimes Yetis, but it always goes back to Yetis.
So sometimes it. My bad, I fucked that up.
That's okay. No.
It's all right. Hey,
We have
says
three
shut
of
up and refill my podcast. He fucks up my title all the time.
No,
Shout
we
out
have
Everett.
it's sometimes Yetis. It's always Yetis. That's what Maynard says, and then Jordan says it's never Yetis.
Oh, okay. So y'all each have a Yeti saying.
Yeah, I think sometimes Yetis might be around. Maynard thinks it's always Yetis. And that started with our first episode when we were talking about the moon landing, and he thought that Yetis did it. And I was
The
like,
Yetis
no,
did it.
dude.
Yeah. I went back and started listening to all them back. It's been a couple years. But when I found when I found y'all's podcast, I went back and listened from, because luckily y'all aren't really consistent like on a weekly basis. So it's easy to catch up on old episodes. No offense.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The pandemic really fucked things up. We were recording every 2 weeks for the longest time. Then the pandemic hit, and Jordan works. I can't say what he does, but he's got a kind of important job, so he can never really be around. And then, not that Maynard's job's not important, but it's very seasonal. So there are certain times of the year that he just can't be around.
Mm-hmm.
And I had started a new job and had been there for 2 years, and I'm just constantly working. So it's really difficult for all of us to get together, but things should stabilize in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's been a while since we've recorded.
And I didn't really intro it in the beginning, but remind the people the name of your podcast.
So we're the Citizen's Guide to the Supernormal. We're a podcast about all things weird, sticky, stupid, and uncomfortable.
It's kind of like my
cleaning a porta john at a Kid Rock concert.
I thought you were gonna pull out that Marilyn Manson. Y'all
No,
kind
we're
of
done
strayed
with
away
him.
from that, huh?
We're done with him. Yeah, we got away from that. The week before Marilyn Manson gets called out for sexual assault, and we're like, we want the Marilyn Manson dildo. What a mistake that episode was.
I dig it. I dig it. I love
back,
supernatural stuff. I love, all that strange. I mean,
I never posted a picture, but so we did that episode about Betty and Bonnie Hill, right?
Yeah.
So a couple months later, I'm up in New Hampshire, and I go to this gas station, and I'm just like randomly, I was staying at a place down the street. There was a gas station up the road. I go to the gas station to get some ice and some beer, as we're staying in a cabin, and I look at the side of the station, and there's an alien painted on the wall outside of the gas station. So I go inside and I talk to the clerk, and the clerk's like, yeah, that's to commemorate the Betty and Bonnie Hill abduction, which happened across the street. But the assholes who built the restaurant across the street don't want anything to do with the Betty and Bonnie Hill abduction. So the gas station is the only way you know it was Betty and Bonnie. That's where they were abducted.
That's crazy. What the?
Yeah. But I was blown away because the cabin was just picked at random. I had like this amazingly fun, awesome weekend up there. And then I didn't even know that where I was staying was a mile down the road from the fucking gas station where Betty and Bonnie Hill got abducted back in the 50s.
So it all kind of came together in a way.
Oh, yeah. I took a picture of it immediately. I was like, I have to have a picture of this right fucking now.
Oh, man. So
crazy.
yeah, guys, go out and check out the Citizen's Guide to the Paranormal.
The Supernormal.
Supernormal.
So we wanted to do Citizen's Guide to the Supernatural, but that already existed as a website.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I don't want to steal these guys' shit. And Supernormal sounds way dumber anyway. So we'll be Citizen's Guide to the Supernormal because we don't take ourselves very seriously.
No, it's fun listening to. Sometimes I don't even remember what the topic is. I just y'all are riffing on just to each other, and it's just like that for me that makes the episode. And sometimes I have to go back and re-listen to actually, okay, it was about this or that. Yeah.
One of my proudest moments about our podcast, we were going over some stuff, talking about it, and one of my proudest things about our podcast is that 4 times now, someone who has been on our show while we were recording had gotten too drunk and fallen asleep in the middle of the recording.
Oh,
4 times now.
I would say that what happens to me a lot, but I do this by myself. So there's always a chance of me leaving the recorder on and waking up and be like, oh shit, I got to go back and format my SD card.
I got to go edit.
I just lost everything that I had recorded, but nah.
You should listen, see if there's any white noise while you're asleep. Maybe there's a ghost in the background that's talking to your microphone.
I'm trying to think of something. Hey, wake up. Just some weird ghost thing. It's like the foggy glass mirror, and it says, wash your ass again or something.
Or your ghost wakes up and he's like, hey, you're out of KY.
They started talking to me in Spanish. Viva gorditas. It's a Taco Bell dog. Here, lizard. Here, lizard.
I think we're going to need a bigger box.
Yeah. Oh, I miss that Taco Bell dog. The one famous Mexican in the world, and we had to kick his ass to the curb.
You know that Taco Bell dog, one of the guys who was on Reno 911 does his voice.
Yeah, he does Rocco's Modern Life. Yeah, Carlos. Oh, what the fuck is his last name? Real
Can't
funny,
remember
dude.
his last name. But Rocco's Modern Life was my favorite cartoon as a kid.
Oh, it was the shit. And it was like, had that, of course, Nickelodeon had those little Easter eggs of like, this stuff isn't for kids, but adults will get these references.
Exactly.
Oh, baby.
Like
oh, baby. Oh, line. Baby. Rocco?
Mrs. Big Head.
Click.
I like it. I like anytime they mention something big and then you have that big lady in the back. I'm a wild pig.
Yeah.
I actually have I found the Funko Pop for Rocco, Spunky, and Heifer, and I got it immediately. Had to buy it.
Yeah. You have to, yeah. I haven't found Heifer, but I saw Rocco, but I was like I don't know. I didn't get it, but I regret not getting it because Rocco, like all the Nickelodeon stuff, cartoons from back in the day was like, I mean, I grew up on that shit. Doug,
yeah, me too.
Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy. It wasn't until Angry Beavers when I saw like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah, Angry Beavers was not nearly as good as Ren and Stimpy and Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh yeah. And then that weird one where the Rugrats were grown teenagers or something. Or not grown, but they were teenagers. That was stupid.
Unacceptable.
The movies were good. I like the movie.
Yep.
The Reptar Machine.
Reptar's awesome.
Cool.
Reptar's
But
awesome.
yeah. That one was kind of sad where Chucky doesn't. I don't have a mom to dance with, and you're like, oh,
it's like,
shit.
Oh,
and then you're like, wait a minute, you're a fucking cartoon. What the fuck am I crying for?
No wonder you're all fucked up, Chucky. No wonder you're
like, all they gotta do is draw you a mom, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But
that's actually where my daughter got her name from.
From Rugrats in Paris?
No, from just Rugrats in general.
Oh,
Lillian. From
Lillian?
Phil and Lil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my
Ah,
daughter got her name from, Lillian.
that's
We
awesome.
don't tell her that because I don't want her to know she got a name from a cartoon.
From a cartoon. Well, tell her don't watch this.
Well, then my youngest, Max, he got his name from my daughter, and we were like, oh, we really like that name. And then we found out she got his name from a cartoon. So it kind of all goes around.
Oh, full circle. I thought you were saying we got it from Saved by the Bell. It was named after the restaurant.
No, as you remember that? I don't know if you saw the show at all. I don't know if you have kids or not, but there's a show called Sanjay and Craig.
Okay, yeah, that one sounds familiar. Yeah.
So there's a guy on the show who's like an action figure character who has a mullet and everything, and he's really funny. And his name was Maximum Dennis, but everybody called him Max D. And so that's my son's name. Is his middle name starts with a D, so he's Max D.
Max D. Oh, and she got it.
And we were like, oh, that's an awesome name, and she got it from that show.
And then you're like, oh, and guess where your name's from?
Lillian.
Yeah. My little girl's not old. I mean, she watches Blue's Clues. She's 2. So she's watching
Okay.
like all the preschool stuff. But yeah, I have a niece and a nephew, and I grew up watching like all the iCarly stuff and all the what was it, Max and Ruby, all the
Yep.
And I'm just
Max
a
and
big ass
Ruby.
kid, so like I'll watch random cartoons, but I gotta watch the stuff I remember growing up with, like
I mean, if your
SWAT
audience
Cats
is
and-
listening, they can't see behind me, but I've got a shelf full of toys.
You
So
have a sweet Lego collection, bro.
I do. My Lego collection is actually taken over much of my area. So when we bought this house, my only stipulation was that I needed to have my own basement. And now I'm at a place where I literally don't have space for Lego sets. I actually went to a store and sold off. It's like a Lego store, and it sells like old discontinued sets.
Yeah.
So I went
yeah.
in there with a bunch of my oldest sets and was like, you got to buy these because I need room for more.
Yeah, there's a guy here. I live in Texas, close to San Antonio, and there's a flea market in San Antonio, and there's a guy he goes by the Lego Man, and that's what he does. He buys old sets. He has older sets, and he can resell like out of the box.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
Pieces and so yeah, whenever I was buying sets and building them with my nephew, and then by myself because he grew up and out of it.
Yep.
And I'm just there like using like almost like therapy, like, okay, put this together. And
yeah, that's what I do.
I
it
built,
for.
and just take them to him and sell it to him. I hadn't been there in a while, especially since the pandemic.
Right.
But I noticed, I think I actually tweeted you about that Nintendo one. I see it there
I have
behind
it.
you.
It's actually right behind me. Yep,
Yeah.
right there.
I remember when they announced it, I was like, oh, I want to get that, but how much is it going to be? Like, I'm still hesitant to get the Batman cow Lego set that's been out.
I'll tell you, man.
$60.
The thing is, Lego sets only increase in price as they get older.
Yeah, but
so I mean, you can get it now at 50. No, even built, even pre-built. I went to the New England Brick Company, which is here. That's the guy I sold my sets to. And I sold him 6 of the sets were in perfect condition. One of the sets was sun damaged, and he still spent $140 buying those sets from me.
Wow.
And these are sets that were easily 7 or 8 years old.
That's crazy.
So get that set now, because
Yeah.
even built, it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, I have pops that I want to get. Like, I have pops I want to keep, but I have pops that I want to kind of like just go ahead and just get rid of, just clear some space, because I would have them displayed. And when we moved to a smaller unit, and so there's no place to display them, so they're just kind of like in storage at my parents.
Now, do you keep them in the boxes?
They're still in the boxes, and there's some with protective cases.
I'm the worst kind of collector because I take everything out of the box.
Gotta let them breathe.
I got a thing, man. Like, I don't know, it weirds me out to keep it in the box. I have a whole shelf of action figures you can see behind me.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is out of the box.
Yeah, put my light. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Marvel figures.
Yeah, I got Marvel. I got some of the G.I. Joe ones. I got Ash from Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
All the Ghostbusters. Well, this is the Army of the Dead one because he's got the chainsaw hand.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
That's badass.
I'm a big collector. I'm a huge nerd, man. So, but I
Hell yeah.
have to take them out of I can't leave them in the container. It just doesn't feel right.
You feel like what's that dude from Toy Story? Uh something Pete.
Yeah.
I'm finally gonna get played with. Or he gets all mad because he's been in the box. Oh
I mean,
man.
I feel bad because I got
But
all
what
these
it,
action figures. I never play with them, but I do take them down and I dust them. I have a paintbrush that I
it's
dust them
like
with.
that scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin where like this whole wedding he was paid for by toys. We gotta get some toys. We gotta go to the toy store right now after we get done here. It was like,
Yep.
hell yeah.
I would
But
say my Lego collection alone is probably worth. I mean, still in boxes, probably $100,000 or so.
I think he was
Not in
telling me
boxes.
the minifigures, a lot of the minifigures have more value without being just by themselves because
Yeah.
they're from a set. Like you'll get, for example, like just coming to popping in my head, the minifigures from like Iron Man or something, or
Yeah.
like a War Machine and all together or whatever. And you don't even have to have the set, just the minifigure. It's like you'll see them on eBay going for like 15, $20 just for a
Your
little.
average minifigure is worth
Yeah.
like $5. Even just like your basic one is worth like $5. And I would say I probably have like 300 to 400 minifigures alone.
Mhm.
I have one Boba Fett that I know for a fact is worth $50.
Oh, I got the Mandalorian one that came out recently that
Oh
was
yeah.
him and Baby Yoda on on his motorcycle. Yeah. I
Yep. I
bought
got
that
that
one
one.
just for that piece alone. And yeah, it's just because
Yeah. The
Mandalorian is the
Baby
shit.
Yoda.
It's awesome.
The thing that's funny is that like Disney totally missed a boat on Baby Yoda. It took forever for them to make action figures and stuff. I had pre-orders of Mandalorian toys. I had pre-orders of Baby Yoda. No one thought that was going to take off. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? And so at first I became kind of obsessed because it
Uh-huh.
was so hard to find.
Uh-huh.
And so all my friends were buying them for me. Then my boss bought me one. Now I have a cabinet,
Full of
and the cabinet by itself has 17 Baby Yoda different versions of action figures in it.
there's
And
everywhere,
now,
man. My sister-in-law
yeah,
has like a Baby Yoda pillow. And see,
yeah,
I remember when
yeah.
when the first season came down or dropped, and then he was a hit because I mean he didn't have a name by at the end of the first season,
Yeah, he
whatever.
was just Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. And so yeah, they realized, oh, we got to make toys, and they did all this. Hey, pre-order now, almost like BB-8, like when Star Wars
Yep.
Force Awakens came out. BB-8 was the that little drone or whatever that would just roll. I mean, you got the cheap one with
Yeah,
the pill on the bottom.
the little basketball with the tiny head. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so that sold out, and it's just like anything Star Wars is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, from Boba Fett, who people thought was just like going to be a fart in the wind, but it's like probably their most popular character based
I
on
think
what the
so.
Christmas special, and then him coming in real life on Return of the Jedi, into spawning a freaking Disney Plus show coming soon. How badass
Yep.
is that going to be?
Christmas Day. Can't wait.
Dude, when the second season of Mando dropped and we had that scene with Timothy, what the hell is his last name?
Timothy Oliphant.
And he's not, I mean, he just in the armor, and then Boba Fett comes for his armor and it gets a badass sleek paint job and all that. I was like,
Yeah, I was so
oh,
excited.
that
I'm
was a
so
fucking
happy.
awesome scene with him blowing shit up.
Christmas Day of this year, it comes out, and I am gonna be there. I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. I'm gonna watch
Oh, it's gonna
that.
premiere.
I'm gonna watch. Yeah, it's gonna premiere on Christmas Day this year,
Wow.
2021.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then
'cause
Mandalorian starts. I want to say in January or February of 2022.
oh, okay. So it's gonna premiere before Mando.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because normally Mandalorian starts coming out in October,
Yeah.
and then they drop an episode a week. But this year, I think they wait until Christmas Day. It's probably pandemic related.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I mean, there's so much stuff coming out, especially with like everything Disney, Marvel related. Like they finally dropped that trailer after everybody bitching and whining and wanting the trailer for the Spider-Man to come out. And now I don't know if you watch a lot of TikToks, you get those people that kind of like pick apart everything from the trailer or pick apart everything.
Yeah,
Like
it's like it's too much. I can't.
I've
I
seen a
can't. So
bunch
like,
of that's not the real Doctor Strange. How the fuck do you know? Did you write the script?
well, that's actually what I heard too. But I just heard it from like, out of left field, like it's an evil version of Doctor Strange or whatever.
To me, it just feels like the whole WandaVision Mephisto theory. Everybody thought Mephisto, and then there was no even mention of him. And then it's
I
like,
just wish people would just shut up and enjoy shit.
thank you. Exactly.
Like I watch, like for instance, I'm a big Boston sports teams fan. I like the Red Sox. I like, the Patriots. I like the Bruins. Don't really give a shit about the Celtics. I don't hate them. I just don't care about basketball. But anyway, I watch the games, but I don't know shit about what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know who hates who. I don't care.
Who, yeah.
Yeah, it's way more fun to me to watch the team without knowing all that shit until after the season's over. I don't want to know who doesn't like who. Like, it ruins it for me. When we have players who are like huge dickheads behind the scenes, I don't want to watch it anymore.
It takes all the fun out.
Yeah, it takes all the fun out. So like when it comes to movies and stuff and people are talking about the buzz and everything, I'm like, just shut up. Let me watch the movie and appreciate it. Like the new Star Wars movies that come out and everybody's complaining about this or that. And I'm like, dude, this is a movie about fucking space magic. Just enjoy the movie.
Exactly, man.
Just appreciate cool spaceships, you dicks.
Exactly, man. That's one of the reasons why when I started this podcast, I included that whole trailer haters, because that's all you would see. I mean, Sonic at the time came out and people were bitching about, oh, he looks so stupid. And then they redesigned him. And it was just based off of all the shit people were spewing online. And then
knock it off. Who cares?
Now we're getting Knuckles, played by I can't even say his fucking name. The Bloodsport, Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba. He's fucking amazing, dude. I fucking love that guy.
What's that one show? Luther. He plays Luther.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And he was on The Office. That was when I first got exposed to him. Was in The Office.
Yeah,
and now I love everything he does.
Yeah, what's her name is like wants to be like with him basically.
It was Kelly and Angela both fell in love with him.
Yeah, and he's just like, okay, let's get on with it. Yeah, that whole season was bonkers. That whole season, Michael's lips, the Michael Scott Paper Company, and it's like one room. Yeah.
Yep. I got into The Office. I didn't watch The Office in the beginning. I didn't start watching. So I saw the British version and I liked it, and then I didn't watch the American version at first. And then my buddy overseas, so I was in Iraq for a year, and my buddy was super into The Office.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had a Dunder Mifflin Paper Company hat, and we were allowed to wear civilian clothes just like in our little compound where we were staying, but we had to wear like normal military uniforms outside. So we were in the compound and we're wearing like jeans and t-shirts and stuff, and he had his Dunder Mifflin hat. I was like, what is that? And he's like, you got to watch the show with me. And I watched it, and we wound up binging. I think at that point we were up to season 5. We wound up watching all 5 of the seasons that were out at the time. And I think I fell in love with it because it was like something fun to do, because we didn't have a lot of fun shit to do. So we were just like throwing cans of canned fruit into the fire and then running away and waiting for them to explode. Anyway, we weren't, this is what happens when you take television away from adults. So we'd sit down and watch The Office every Tuesday. And we became addicted to it. That's badass.
I didn't really get into it until like 2-3 years ago. It came out. I mean, I didn't have cable or nothing. I just had an antenna, and it came out on Cozy. And I had seen some episodes, but for me, I have to get into it from the very beginning, or at least in the beginning of a season. And then if I need to go back to the previous season, because a lot of stuff is kind of intertwined. But there's not really much that needs to be like, oh, you need to watch this to get this.
Yeah, there's like a couple of in-jokes here and there, but for the most part, like you can watch them standalone episodes. There's only like a couple of episodes. I usually find that it's like the end of the season, they'll do 2 episodes that are like tied together.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't really need it. You can just watch.
Yeah, you can just jump in. Yeah, my brother, I loved watching Scrubs, and then I'd always tell my brother, hey, you got to check it out, and he's kind of like shrugging it off. He texted me like almost a year ago or so, just about, and he's like, oh man, this show is fucking awesome. How did I not watch this? I was like, oh, fucking told you. And then it got me to go back to watching it and then just loving it even more. And then they have like a podcast too, so it's like hell
yeah. It's the 2 guys, right?
Yeah, Zach Braff and Donald Faison.
Yeah,
the fake doctors, real friends.
Yeah. And I thought that was like a really cool idea. And I actually did a podcast a little while ago. Me and Maynard guested on a podcast
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Letterkenny, and we got really into
Oh
that
yeah.
show. And
Letterkenny is so fucking
so
hilarious.
I
I
was like
binged
your
it.
brother. I like didn't want anything to do with it. The only people who had brought it up to me besides my brother were people who I thought was super annoying. So I'm like, nah, if you
Yeah.
like this show, I'm probably gonna hate it. My brother was like, no, you gotta watch it. I'm like, dude, I'm not, I'm like
Yeah.
a hockey fan, but it's like I was telling you, like, I don't give a shit about the behind the scenes stuff. I just want to watch the games. And then he tricked me and showed me like some YouTube clips.
Uh-huh.
And I was trapped in his car at the time, so I couldn't like get out,
That
And
sounds like
that's when I
me.
was like, yep.
That
And
sounds like
that's when I
my
got
first
into
time
it.
seeing it. Yeah, yeah. My brother, he
And
just
now I
played it on his
have,
phone, and he
yeah,
just gave me the phone, and I
got
was
you.
like, okay, yeah. Then yeah, I was hooked. Or
Yeah,
Trailer
I got
Park Boys. You ever seen that one?
yes, I've watched that show too.
Yeah,
And
fucking love it.
it's great, like, because the thing is, like, I have a really hard time with people like, oh, you gotta watch this show. And I'm like, nah, I don't really have time. And I
Yeah,
don't know why I do that, because when I do finally have time, I always like the show.
yeah.
It was the same thing with Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I guess it all depends on who tells you to check it out, and you're just like kind of shrug it off. But
Well,
then
like
at
my
this,
brother usually has good taste. Like he and I like the same movies, but for some reason I was very resistant to Letterkenny. But I think it was because all these other people who sucked were like, "Oh, you got to watch it." I'm like, nah, I don't. Like that guy at work you don't like, and you're like,
yeah,
nah, I don't. I don't really want to take your recommendations for anything.
yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But that's gonna be it for Critters 4, even though we didn't
Critters
know this.
4.
We
We
went
didn't
I'm
really
gonna
talk
edit
about it
this
at
and I'm gonna
all.
release everything separate. I'm playing. Yeah, Critters 4 was a fucking doozy.
Yeah,
Uh
bad
with
movie.
that being
Terrible
said,
movie.
I want to thank you so much for coming and doing this, dude.
Yeah,
Uh
no problem, man.
whenever you want to jump on again or whatever. I mean, I'm open to anybody jumping on with me. It's just we got to find the right time,
We got to
you
bring
know.
Maynard on. We got to
Oh,
bring
I
Maynard
love,
on a show.
hell yeah.
Let's wait
I'll wear a
until
mask
his.
too. I don't care.
All right, cool. He was rocking the mask before it was cool.
I know he
He's a
was a
mask
trendsetter.
hipster.
Tell him I
Yeah.
said what's up.
Let's I will. Let's plan to maybe do something when his seasonal work is over and he has a little bit more free time. We did the movie Southie, and I think we should do that again because that was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, and you
Southie?
need to watch it with us. It's
Okay.
got Donnie Wahlberg and Rose McGowan in it, and it is absolute trash from beginning to end.
Donnie Wahlberg and
Donnie
something other
Wahlberg,
than a
terrible
block
movie.
of kids.
Terrible movie.
Okay. I'm down for that.
This was after the New Kids. This was when he was an old kid, and it was just embarrassing to watch.
When he was balding.
We should do a watch along. We should do a watch along episode. Me, you, and Maynard. We'll watch this terrible movie together.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We'll set it up.
You'll
We'll
get
figure it
some-
out.
you'll
We'll
get
get
some
it
Boston
situated.
culture.
That's
All right,
awesome.
sounds
Yeah, I'm
good.
down for that. And then I gotta get with y'all. I don't know how long ago, maybe about a year, y'all did a Lady in White episode.
Yeah.
And I
La
shot
Llorona.
you my hometown ghost theory or ghost story of a Lady in White.
Yeah,
What
we'll revisit.
I want to really explain it to you, but I don't have the book. It was printed in a book from for the county years ago, and I had the book. I loaned it to my relative. They never returned it, and I'm trying to see if I can find another copy because it's the whole story of the legend and sightings.
Oh,
But it's
yeah.
the Lady in
Okay.
White, and it's creepy as fuck.
We have to do it. We'll do a stream episode where we post it online.
All right, we'll figure it
I'll
out.
see if
But
I can get Tiffany, because Tiffany is from Texas and she was the one who brought it up.
maybe she knows it of. I mean, Bracketville
She
isn't
might know.
popular. I mean,
I'll
if you know
reach out to
John
her.
Wayne, the Alamo, it was shot there in Bracketville on a ranch outside the city limits where they literally
Okay.
made the set. And
Oh, is
years
that
ago,
the 2019 movie?
no, the 19, I don't know when it fucking came out, 70, 60.
Oh, okay, because in
It's the John
2019,
Wayne one, not
they
not
made
not
a
the
La
Billy Bob
Llorona
Thornton,
movie, and
not the
it's
Billy
so
Bob
bad.
Thornton. But yeah. It's a for local. I mean, I'm sure people don't
Okay.
know by now, but like local legend and local ghost story lore. You
It was
know,
popular. That was our number one. That's our number one episode. That's our most listened to episode. It's the La Llorona episode.
la what?
La Llorona.
Llorona?
Yeah,
La Llorona. Do, 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 do,
that's the
do.
lady in white. La
Yeah,
Llorona.
La Llorona is
La Llorona. I'm sorry. I saw the two
she.
L's. I thought it was just like a serious L. It's like
You
a
gotta roll your R's, bro.
La Llorona.
I'm from deep
La
south.
Llorona.
I'm from the deep south, my friend.
La Llorona.
Llorona. Your no, I'm fucking
Llorona.
up. And I don't even speak Spanish. I can't speak
I don't-
Spanish for shit. But she was a lady in white, but like the lady in white, the one I'm talking about, is like a broken heart story where she committed suicide. I'll give you the rundown.
That's the same thing with
but
La
that's
Llorona.
but see the thing about the sightings, it's crazy. People have seen her at the foot of the bed tugging and trying to touch you. I don't know if that's popular or if it's just people hearing random ghost stories and kind of put them like.
So that's
mental
one of
stuff.
them. But then you also have the and we didn't touch on this in the podcast, so this is something we could definitely revisit. But there's also a very popular lady in white by the side of the road,
Yes.
and people stop to try and pick her up.
Pick her up and they take her to a certain spot. She gets out. You turn around and she disappears.
Exactly. Yep, that's the
Her
one.
voice is, I'm getting goosebumps talking. Her voice almost sounds like a over the speaker. Can you
I think you
take
froze.
me to the back of the fort, please? You know, kind of like scratchy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're- Uh-oh,
Goosebumps
internet
did a
is
whole thing on
unstable.
that.
Uh-oh, my internet. I
That's
like
okay.
Zoom. Zoom tells you what's going on and then shoots out, hey, you got shitty service. So,
And then Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark had a lady in white.
oh yeah, those old books. Oh, those
Yeah.
fucking covers was a
I
shit.
got all three of them. Man.
Oh my god, those I remember being in the school library, kind of looking at them and like going away and like looking again, like I don't want to look, but I want to look.
Dude, fucking scary as shit. I'm done. Those books
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me. The pictures were what scared me. The stories weren't even
Yeah,
that bad.
The
It
scary,
was
yeah,
the
but the
that
pictures,
were
yeah,
horrifying.
exactly, bro.
It was like the Ralph Steadman, the artist who did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's like Ralph
Oh
Steadman
yeah,
went through like a goth phase.
and didn't have any colors.
Yeah, no colors.
All right, man. That's
All
it.
right.
Again, I want to thank you so much for jumping on here. And sorry, I I made you watch 2 Critter movies.
Well,
what-
I made myself watch one. That was my fault.
Is there anything else you want to let the thousands of millions of people listening to this awesome podcast?
Nah, come and find me on Twitter. If you don't already know me, I'm at Bastard Prophet. All one word. Prophet is spelled PH. Like profit from the Bible, not profit like money.
Give me a dollar.
Or if you just Google Sarge the Destroyer, you'll find all my shit. You got me on Instagram and YouTube. And yeah, if you just look up Sarge the Destroyer on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, you'll find me.
Hell yeah. And of course, I'm gonna tag you in the tweet when I drop this episode and everything.
Yeah, and I will make sure you send it to me so I can send it out to my folks too, so everybody can see it.
Hell yeah, of course. Just so you know, that's that, and this is it. I open up with Waka Waka, and I end with, if you're not laughing, you're not living. Nanu,
That's right.
nanu.
Nanu, nanu.